Welcome back to the Games Get Played Network, man. This last week of college football is extremely important for so many teams. Okay, so many teams this last week is important for, and there's some potential upsets that can happen, and that is why the games have to be played. You have to line it up and see how you come out on the other side of it. With that being said, we're going to have a great weekend of college football, and we will be back for that last CFP show before championship weekend. We know there's one afterwards, but the one before championship weekend, I expect us to be back.
By any means necessary. To our last breath, to the last play, we hunt. When we bleed, it's orange and green. War ready is the phrase often used. Around these parts, it's game time. No need to turn back the hands of time. We back like we never left. One thing that'll never change is the brand, the you.
Welcome back to the Games Get Played Network. I'm your host, Waz, and I'm back. We are here to discuss the Miami Hurricanes versus the Pitt Panthers. Number 12, Miami plays number 22, Pitt, this Saturday at Pitt. 12 noon game. It's going to be 35 degrees roughly at kickoff. It's time, man. It's here. It is here. Everything is on the line for Miami, for both teams for that matter. If you want a chance to get into the ACC championship game via the three-way tie, you have to win with a little bit of help. Or if Miami just wants the opportunity to be able to get in at large, they need to handle Pitt. This will be a ranked win, and this will be a perfect opportunity to show the committee that we should move up at least to number 10. So with all of that being said, we'll go ahead and get into this, man. So Miami's traveling to Pitt, man. Like I said, everything is on the line. Miami comes in at 9-2, 5-2 in the ACC. Pitt is 8-3, 6-1 in the ACC. Pitt win, they punch in their ticket, most likely, because Virginia has the one loss, so and SMU has a loss. So we'll see, but you need to win in order for this to be clear, right? You need to win. Man, when it comes down to this game, I didn't know that everything would be riding on this at the end of the season, but I had 3 games circled. Louisville, SMU, and Pitt coming into the year. I expected Miami to be 11-1 or finish the season 11-1. Obviously, we're far beyond that now. So we're going to go ahead and get into it, man. Miami comes in. Carson Beck, leading passer, 2,800 yards, completing 74% of his passes. Fletcher is our leading rusher with 655. Malachi Tony, 844 yards, 6 touchdowns. He is 91 yards away from breaking that freshman receiving record for Miami. And at 844 right now, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to overall end up getting him 1,000 yards. Pitt has a freshman quarterback, Heinchels. He has 1,899 yards on the year. He only started in 7 games, right? So he's 6-0 in the games, the ACC games that he started. If I'm not mistaken, his only loss came at the hands of Notre Dame. He's averaging 270 passing yards per game. Just simply put, man, the kid can sling it. He's completing only like 63% of his passes, but he is a true freshman quarterback. 14 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He does make bad decisions at times. The arm talent is there through and through. He has good footwork, great footwork, I think, to be a freshman in the pocket. He knows how to climb the pocket. He knows how to maneuver. I think his escapability is highly underrated, for what he can do. Um, but he is a true freshman. So the arm talent is there, but he makes bad decisions sometimes. He gets sacked way too much. He's been sacked 26 times over the course of the 7 games, pretty much. He was sacked 6 times against Georgia Tech. He was sacked 7 times against Syracuse, 5 times against Florida State, twice against BC, 4 times against Notre Dame, twice against Stanford. I'm bringing that up because Miami's defensive line is better than every single one of those teams that I named without question. So I expect Miami to be able to run off a minimum of 4 to 5 sacks on this team. That's just what it is. They're giving up a lot of sacks overall. Outside of that, though, no need to really harp on him. Their leading rusher is Turner. Extremely quick. He has great burst. He has really good speed. 615 yards on the year, 7 touchdowns. He's averaging 5 yards per carry. Really dynamic guy. And you'll see him at some point when we get to the film and stuff, but really dynamic guy. And then one of their other key pieces, he should be back this week, is Desmond Reed, number 0. 278 yards on the year, 2 touchdowns, 317 receiving yards, 2 TDs. He's extremely quick and explosive. In space, he is dangerous, and we have to make sure that we bottle those 2 guys up. Between Turner, Reed, and Johnson, we have to bottle those guys up. All 3 of those guys are explosive in space. Kenny Johnson is their leading wide receiver with 691 yards on the year, 5 touchdowns. He's averaging almost 15 yards a catch. And then when you look, even further, obviously Kenny Johnson is one of Heinzel's favorite targets, right? He loves going to him, but he also loves getting the ball to Poppy Williams, right? Poppy Williams leads Pitt with 6 receiving touchdowns on the year. Another guy that's averaging 14 yards, 578 yards on the year. So Desmond Reed, Poppy Williams, and Kenny Johnson, main guys. Also Turner, right? Main explosive guys. And then he loves to hit big plays to Hicks. Hicks is averaging 17 yards per catch on the year. He also has 4 touchdowns. Here and there he'll hit deuce span. The tight ends will get in the mix at times, but those are his main guys, man. And we have to make sure that we're able to contain those guys because in space they are dangerous. Pitt is averaging 37.6 points per game. That's good for the 12th best scoring offense in the country. Pitt is putting up points. They put up points. They put up a good amount of yards per game, and their offense can be very explosive at times. They do get chunk plays. That is for sure. Pitt gets chunk plays, man. So that's overall what their offense, where they're sitting statistically on offense, right? So they run it for about 125 yards a game. They're passing it for about 280 per game, and they're really balanced overall. It really is about a half and half kind of thing. Um, just a lot goes into what they're doing, right? They do have a freshman quarterback, but like I said, man, they do a lot with that offense. And based upon what Miami showed last week against Virginia Tech and some other times where we've had problems, I know they're going to put their athletes in space and just allow them to go, right? They're going to see where that lands them when they put their guys in space. I think for Miami on the offensive side of the ball, getting Fletcher going, making sure Pringle gets going, having Marty have some good carries. If Jordan Lyle is going to actually give us anything, sure. But Malachi has to be moving all around, being in this offense. We get CJ Daniels back this week. So the receiver room, I do expect to play well. Keelan Marion has been playing great over the last 3 or 4 weeks. I expect to see, JoJo playing, Joshua Moore, Upshaw. Like, I expect to see a lot of plays made by the wide receivers. I think a lot of this game is going to hinge on Carson Beck. Pitt is definitely going to be super aggressive and committed to stopping the run. So Beck is going to have to hit these shots down the field and just overall just keep the game flowing. Pitt is susceptible to big plays over the top, but you don't have to focus on trying to hit big plays over the top on Pitt. We can take our 10, 12, 15, hit a 20 here or there, 8, 10, 12, 5, 3, 10, and score. All right, I'm cool with that. It doesn't have to be a chunk play. Now, you always will take explosive chunk plays when you can get them, and they're susceptible to giving them up, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that, right? So, I'm good with however it unfolds as long as we're able to get the victory, right? That's it. That's it for me. I don't have any true gripes. Just get the victory. As long as we get the victory, I'm good. So, back to Miami overall. Obviously, Carson Beck over the last 3 games has been on a heater. He's been on an absolute tear, and he needs to continue to play his best ball if Miami's going to win this game. Okay? So, 22 touchdowns on the year, obviously, the 9 interceptions. Like I said, over the last 3, he's been on a tear. Between Marty Brown, Malachi getting mixed in there, Fletcher, Pringle, we have to do a great job running the football. We have to. We have to keep that average looking good. We have to because we can't be predictable, but we need them to respect it. So the different play calls and stuff that Dawson has been doing, I would love to continue to see some of those things and just keep them guessing, keep them moving and force them to tackle us in space, right? They're going to try to put their athletes in space and try to make us tackle them. I would say we need to make them tackle us in space. I like Malachi in space one-on-one with some of their guys on defense, with any of their guys, to be honest. I like our guys in space against their guys. I like our guys up top against their guys. They got a tendency to turn tight ends loose. So hopefully Lofton can be effective again in this game. If Beck just takes what the defense gives him and doesn't try to force anything, Miami will win and we'll be fine. Right? We just need to focus on keeping everything clean. That's it. Keep it clean and we'll be good. That's all we got to do. Keep it clean and we'll be good. So like I said, we get CJ back. We should be at full strength, full health, man. Miami comes in averaging 33.7 points per game. That's good for 27th in the nation. Defensively, Miami is giving up 14 and a half. That's a top 10. That's good for number 7 in the nation, right? We should be able to slow them down. We don't even need to completely stop them. We need to slow them down and be able to win this game by 10 points. I think if Miami can win this game by 2 scores, it will seal them into the top 10 for the final CFP rankings. If they win this game convincingly by 2 scores and it's not a late touchdown that's put up on the board, but if they beat the number 22 team in the nation convincingly on the road by 2 scores, I think they're a lock for 10. If they beat them by 3 scores, they're guaranteed to get in my opinion. Notre Dame beat this same team by 3 scores. So if Miami beats them by 3 scores, a ranked team on the road last week of the season looked good doing it, I think it guarantees them to get in. The style points are going to matter, and that's how you have to look at it sometime. Now, as far as Pitt defensively, they're giving up basically 24 points a game, which is good for 62nd in the nation, right? That's just kind of where things are with them. Overall, they're not giving up a lot of yards. Rush wise, only 93 on the year, 237 passing. All right. Similar to our rush defense at 92 yards per game. I do expect this to be a true battle, right? I do expect this to be a true battle. We're going to need our defensive line to get off. Defensively, they got some guys that's opportunistic or whatever, but I'm going to be honest. I'm not really worried about any individual player on their defense. They don't have anybody to actually, quote unquote, worry about specifically. It's schematically what they're going to try to do as they do their exotic looks and disguise coverages and everything. And Beck is going to need to be able to decipher what's going on. A lot of times they'll put 6 or 7 at the line, and you'll have to guess who's coming, and then the other guys bail out in the coverage. They still may send a blitz or do a stunt, so the guys are going to bail, and when they bail, normally they're shading to the side they're trying to force the pressure from. You know, a lot of the times when I'm seeing them bailing out, they're bailing towards the corners or they're robbing a lot. The stuff in the middle of the field is open for them, but it has to be precise, right? You can't put too much on it. You can't throw it too low. Those windows in the middle of the field are open, and you can hit the shots down the field. When they get aggressive and they get in man-to-man coverage, that's going to be perfect time to take some of those shots. They can't guard Malachi one-on-one. They can't guard any receiver we have one-on-one. Their strength is not defense. Their strength is not defense at all. All right. They're opportunistic at times, but their strength is not defense. They gave up 31 to West Virginia. They gave up 34 to Louisville. They gave up 31 to Florida State. They gave up 34 to NC State. They gave up 20 to Stanford. They gave up 37 to Notre Dame. They ended up giving up 28 to Georgia Tech. You see where I'm going with this? The defense is not like that at all. You can get whatever you want on these guys on defense overall, right? Overall, you can get what you want. Their run defense, they do have a good run defense by the numbers. It's not by the size. They do attack well. They fill gaps well. But when they've played teams of certain competition, i.e. Notre Dame, obviously similar opponent in Louisville, similar opponent in Florida State, similar opponent with Syracuse, NC State, they're not able to move guys like we can move guys. And to me, that is going to be one of the key differences in all of this, right? The D-line literally should be able to feast on these guys. I do expect Narduzzi to pull out everything that he has. Personally, you know, the fact that he was okay with dropping the Notre Dame game because he knew that everything that he wanted was in front of him, you know, I don't respect, or I didn't respect. After watching the tape on the Notre Dame game, even though he did make those weak-ass comments, it's not like they just gave the game up. the game was way more competitive than what I thought, because I went back and watched the extended film on the game, and I was surprised to see what I saw. Right. And the game was competitive, and a couple of swings didn't go Pitt's way. They were aggressive. Notre Dame was aggressive. Multiple turnovers on both sides. It just so happens that Notre Dame executed better in certain moments. And that was the difference in the game. Honestly, it was much tighter than what the score indicated. So, for me, Miami just has to focus on Miami. Right. Everything is riding on this, man. The whole season, the morale of the entire program, the morale of the fans. I know everybody wants to get into the CFP. So do I. But if you win this game and don't get in, yeah, we'll be mad and everything, but you cannot lose this game. I don't know if Mario understands the magnitude of this, but you cannot lose this game. Every single thing we need to be prepared for. Heatherman, you said last week VT brought out a wrinkle or brought out something you hadn't seen. You need to be ready for stuff. You got to be ready and catch this on the fly this week, big dog. Because if you don't get it right this week, we ain't going to get another chance. Defense, don't let me down. Y'all been balling this whole season, making it do what it do. I know you gave up 17 last week, but a lot of that was some fluke-ass bullshit with the referees. Weak calls, and then not even worrying about it, man. Lock in. Jacoby Thomas is back. All hands on deck. The only person that we're not going to have that's key that's been missing as of recently is Keontae Scott. But everybody else is there, back in full effect, and it's all hands on deck. It is time to go out here and make a statement. It is time for us to make sure that we do everything in Miami's power, okay, to win this game against Pitt. Put the onus on the committee and make them stand on what they said about head-to-head matchups. Because right now, Miami is number 12, and to me, 9 through 12 is in the same tier. They showed how they got 4, 4, and 4. If you watched the CFP show, they had the lady, and she said, oh, the committee, like, she's put Miami and Notre Dame head to head and was like, look, Notre Dame's better than Miami in every aspect since they played. And I'm like, bro, they played, though. Either way, handle business. Don't even worry about the CFP rankings. Don't worry about the potential tie in the ACC. Just go handle business. That is it. That is all you have to do. Win on Saturday by any means necessary. We have to be on top of our in-game stuff, Mario. We can't have any blunders with timeouts. We can't have bad play clock stuff. We can't have bad game management. Everybody needs to be on their P's and Q's. Dawson, that big bag that you've been in, stay in that bag, bro. You're going to need everything in it and then some more. Everything in it and then some more. I'm going to say it one more time. You're going to need everything in that bag and then some more if you want to come out with a win on Saturday. Keep calling some of these concepts to help your quarterback out. You know what I'm talking about. We've been seeing them as of recent. I'm not going to even put up the Miami film and takes and breaking certain stuff down, because the perspective that I do it from, I feel like it's clear to me that they be getting a hold to this tape and they be utilizing certain points that I know they probably see on film when they're looking at it, but they don't understand everything that kind of goes into why who's playing where and stuff like that. And I feel like they be using it against us. So we'll have a film review. It'll be strictly tailored towards Pitt, what Pitt has done with the 4 games that I selected, the good and the bad, right? As far as Miami, we need to put Malachi in space. We just need to make sure that we're not being predictable on offense. We got a wide variety of things that we can do. And I truly expect Dawson to continue to cook. I expect him to cook. I expect Beck to cook. And I expect the run game to be good enough. And by good enough, I mean I expect us to run for more than 100 yards. I expect Beck to not turn it over. And I think he throws for another 300-yard game. To me, Miami needs to score 31 points to win this game. And I believe they can do it. And there's plenty of paths to get here. But one of the main things that we must see is we must see Bain, Mesidor, Blunt, Lightfoot, and everybody terrorizing the quarterback when it comes to the pass rush. The pass rush is going to be key because based upon the athletes and everything that they have, if he has too much time and we have our linebackers isolated with players like Turner and Desmond Reed in space, it's not going to be good for us if we continue to put them in those positions. So we need the guys to get home. Heinzel is still a freshman and he makes mistakes on a regular basis. And we need to make him pay when he makes those mistakes. And once we make him pay, we need to cash in. Rather, if it's a pick six or we pick him off or force a fumble, offense need to cash in and score. This is the game right here to bring out everything you got. Absolutely nothing should be left in your playbook. You need to do everything in your power to win this game and then worry about if you get in. So, with that being said, man, the keys to victory is going to be Miami, obviously not turning the ball over, but not just that. I think Miami's going to need to run for 100 yards. I also think Carson Beck has to continue to play his best football of the season. We need the best version of Beck. If we do not get a good version of Beck, I do not expect Miami to win this game. I'm not saying they can't, but I won't expect it if Carson Beck doesn't go out and play how he should. Beck, your entire career is on the line right now, son. Your entire career. You've been on a heater the last few games. You need to go out there and play extremely well. You playing well now in any other game you may suit up for Miami is going to be highly dependent upon where you end up going. And you need to put on some of your best performances and keep doing that. It's really that simple. Beck, run game. I expect the defense to slow them down. I don't expect the defense to fully stop them, but I do think that we'll be able to force at least one turnover. If we get 2 turnovers and we don't turn the ball over, I like Miami by 2 scores for sure. We just need to handle what we need to handle. We know the type of football that Narduzzi likes to play. There's not going to be a lot of super duper guessing in this. He will take chances at times. I expect Miami to take some chances, but overall, I think Miami's just a better football team than Pitt. I do think that Pitt has a good football team, but with their freshman quarterback that they have that does make mistakes, gets sacked way too much, throws balls into areas that he shouldn't throw them. He has a lot of confidence in his athleticism and his ability to fit balls in tight windows and, throw on the move and stuff like that. And it's susceptible to get him in trouble at times. I do think that I think Pitt is very talented. They got some great athletes that they put in space, some dangerous guys. I think the difference will be our defensive line. And if we tackle well in space, we will win this game. If we do not tackle well, it is going to be a long, frustrating day for Miami and its fans, and we are going to be pissed as we're watching this game. So I expect our coaches to be on point for this week. They understand everything that's on the line with it, and I'm good with that. Miami needs to make sure that they limit the explosive plays for Pitt. Bottle up Reed enough, bottle up Turner. Don't let Johnson go crazy. Don't let Hicks hit you down over the top. If you can control those players and the flows and how certain stuff happens, you will be fine. Overall, I like Miami. I think they need to score 31 to win. And win, I think 31 would be a comfortable win, but we'll have to see how it goes. But for me, I know the weather initially may be a factor early on. It's going to be low 30s, but I like Miami to go settle in and do what it do. Beck's played in cold weather before, so he's good, or he should be good. I like Miami 34 to 17. Okay. It's 3 scores. I think that's a clear, decisive win. If you get any more than 34, I'm all for it. But I like Miami 34-17. I think Pitt is a really good football team at times. They show a lot. The defense just isn't there. The defense isn't there, and they can't protect the quarterback how they need to. And for those reasons, I like Miami 34-17. Canes fans, I appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Please, if you're watching this, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification on, hit the like button on this video. Go check out the other videos as well. It's been a great season so far this year. Obviously, this is the last regular season game of the year. So I appreciate it all. Continue to support the channel. So the content will continue to flow in the off season. That's obviously something new for us that we haven't done in the past. So you can expect just the overall state of the program. We'll touch on recruiting stuff, obviously hot portal topics, and just overall what's going on and what the team looks like and everything leading up to the spring and the new season. All right, guys. The film review is back. Film review is back because I felt like it was important to do this week. This is the biggest game of the season for Miami. This is the biggest game that Miami has had since the ACC championship game in 2017 versus Clemson. I think last year when we played Syracuse, that was the biggest game since then. But obviously, we didn't capitalize on it. And if we do not win this Saturday, we are looking at 2 straight years of missing out on the CFP due to our own fruition. Doesn't mean we get in for sure, but we'll discuss that at another time. So, with that being said, we're going to take a look at the Pitt versus Notre Dame film. This first part of the film review will be a little different, okay? I'm not going selected play by play. Part of the reason why I decided to look at this film in this manner is because I know a lot of Miami fans that not watch this game. We saw the ending score, and you may have saw one of the main or key highlights, which was the Jeremiah Love run. When I went back and I was watching the condensed game for this game was much tighter than the score indicated, and a lot happened in this game. Pitt took a lot of chances, and a lot of them didn't pan out for them. They also had a touchdown at the goal line that was called a TD that was taken back, and a lot of stuff going. I said all of that to say, when you look at what the score ended up being at some point in the game, and you look at the ending score, you would have thought Notre Dame just dominated them, but it was really tight. It was a lot of close decisions made on both sides, and Notre Dame came out with a decisive victory in the end. So without further ado, we're going to get into this film review. Like I said, we are not going with selected plays. We just looking at what's happening. So out the gate, boom. That boy Desmond Reed is a problem. He is a problem, and he is explosive, and we got to make sure we cover him up. 4th and 8, and he makes a freshman move here. You 4th and 8 around midfield or so, and then you're going to spin backwards and take a sack, and give Notre Dame the ball in great field position. Great field position, bro. Boom. This right here was great by them. They bottled them up quick. And you see where they at. Look, they didn't score. They didn't score. 2nd and 8. He is more athletic than you think when you're just first looking at him. I know he really didn't go anywhere on that play, but it's there. So it's still first quarter, about 8 minutes left. Y'all see what's going on in the game. Notre Dame's going to get a good punt return here to kickstart the drive, and then they're going to end up going down here and scoring. And this was the one right here in the hole. Wow. That's the run that everybody saw. That's the key play everybody saw. And it was an amazing play. To me, Jeremiah Love is the best running back in the nation. When we played him, we bottled him up. He only had 33 rushing yards. This play was crazy, though. For him to make that spin like that in the hole and then get up out of there, boom. And then look, fam flew into his own teammate. He almost injured, bro. Watch this. Spin cycle, bam. He could have tore his knee up. But, you know, it's 7-0. 7-0. 8 minutes. They just scored. And then here we go. Part of the avalanche. Pick 6. They was playing a robber coverage. He threw it on the route where the guy sat down. And it was easy for 9 to just come across and intercept that ball. Right there. Boom. That's easy. That's easy work. It really don't get no easier than that. Walk in, pick 6. 3rd and 9. Here we go. Another freshman move. Holding on to it deep in your territory on 3rd and 9. Notre Dame gets it back. Still first quarter. Nowhere. Bottled up Jadarian Price. Nice on that run. 3rd and 15. It was offside, so Carr took the shot downfield, and 15 got heated. You can get what you want down the field on Pitt, bro. If you want to throw it downfield, this is there all day. So CJ Daniels, Joshua Moore, Malachi, if JoJo gonna go up and get something, that's there all day. Boom. Picked off. They had chances, bro. Picked off. Look, 23 running this back down here. I thought he was going to score right there. I don't know what he was doing. He should have just stayed straight and pressed for the end zone. But similar concept here. He got his eyes locked on the quarterback over here, man. It's real easy. He got his eyes locked on him. But it's real easy. Eli Raridan's coming across and then boom, picked off. That's easy work, bro. That's easy work. He should have scored on this, but you see where he returned it to, right? He all the way inside the 15-yard line. Might have been the 10. And this is what I mean when I say Pitt didn't take advantage of everything. Bro, they end up kicking a field goal. So somebody run a pick back inside the 15 and you end up kicking a field goal from like the 12-yard line. You're not making the most of your opportunities, bro. 2nd and 15, easy hit to the tight end. Boom. He was eating. He was eating on the boys. And then goal line. Great bottle, great way to bottle them up right here. They don't score. And then boom, touchdown. Touchdown. You can go up top on Pitt. Common theme so far in this video already. Whatever you want downfield can be had on Pitt, bro. If you're going to throw jump balls on them, there's a great chance that you can win those jump balls. They got them off sides again. So I definitely want to see us going with a super hard count to try to get them to jump. They eager to go ahead and go. Second penalty in the first half, offsides on the defense. Both times going downfield with it, man. And then we got him right here again. Shing! That's a good throw to Johnson. That's a good hit. And then it's going to be a sack at the end of the half. They hyped up or whatnot. Pitt easily should have 10 points on the board. But they left a lot on the field. They should have had 10. They should have had a touchdown initially, and they could have had a field goal on another drive. So right here, Jadarian Price, is going to make a good play. Great return. Boom. See, this is what I'm talking about too, bro. It's 4th and 2. They right around midfield. 12 minutes left in the third quarter. They hand it off to Jeremiah Love. He gets up out of there and ends up with the touchdown. They hold them boys. Round midfield. Easy pitch and catch right here, which is crazy because watch him. 15, you a man. What the fuck are you doing? You got him man to man. Did you think he just wasn't going to catch the ball? I don't get it. We get it back. Boom. Get up out of there and gets upfield. He can run. He's way more athletic than he looks. He's made some key plays for them by going upfield. And then here you got Desmond Reed again. That boy dangerous. Dangerous. Like he got to keep an eye out for him. This play call to me was stupid. But hey, what do I know? And then this was the one right here. This was 4th and goal. They get this in. They call it a touchdown on the field. They go to review it. And it didn't get upheld. Right? So from there, that's where they at. They turn it over. Next play, pick 6. And then after the pick 6, you have Pitt threw an interception on the 2-point conversion, which they didn't show right here. It's coming up next. But they threw an interception on the 2-point conversion, and they ran it back all the way. So they got 2 points off of that. And that's how this is the play right here. So this isn't them on the goal line. This is a 2-point conversion. And he picks that off and he runs it all the way back. All right, it's 3rd and 7. First quarter, Pitt versus Georgia Tech. And the one thing I will say about Pitt, a lot of times they have these different exotic looks, man. And you really don't know who they're bringing and how everything is set up. They'll walk people up to the line or put people in the box. And then, a lot of times they'll bail out of it. So they do give you exotic looks and you don't know who's coming. And this is a result of it right here. 3rd and 7. They're going to get a sack on Haynes King. And then there's boom. They only ended up rushing 4. But when you see it, there was 6 initially up there. Right? And they end up running a stunt. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're not necessarily directly on the line, but pay attention to what they do. You hear? Boom. Easy. Now he's beat. He can't do anything. Sack on Haynes King, man. It's real easy work. All right. 14-0. First quarter. Pitt is up. It's 3rd and 8. Once again, we go. Hold on. I'm going to start that over. All right. So 14-0 is 3rd and 8. First quarter. Pitt is up. Once again, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 right here with this look. And you don't know who's coming or who's not coming. And the result of this is going to be an interception. So they bail out. He's on the run. He comes over to that side. That's to the strength side of the defense. And that's easy work. They put him under pressure right here. Boom. Easy. Free release. He didn't block anybody. He ran right by 74. Don't even know how that happened. Honestly. Have no clue. Boom. Back of the end zone. All right. So it's 28-7. It's 3rd and goal for Georgia Tech. Rutherford's going to come here in motion. And then you got Kenyon here that's going to make his way towards the back of the end zone. I said this when we were watching the Notre Dame piece. They're susceptible to stuff at the back of the end zone. Georgia Tech's going to get multiple touchdowns at the back of the end zone. Pitt likes to keep a lot of stuff in front of them when they're down here and they're really aggressive. And honestly, they may or may not have stopped this play. You're going to see when I call her at 12, actually runs into the official. But boom, he's trying to get through back of the end zone. I don't know if he gets there anyway. That's a perfect pass, perfect catch. And there's really not much you can really say about that. I mean, perfect throw to the back of the end zone. Look at that. I mean, you can't even be mad at it. All right, 28-14 is 2nd and 8. 3rd quarter, 10 minutes and 26 seconds left. Georgia Tech with the ball, and Haynes King is going to throw a strike right here. Step up in the pocket. Boom, deliver the strike to Kenyon. That's an easy completion. Easy ball. You can get chunk plays on these guys. Now, we're going to let this run. This is a run to Jamal Haynes with his next play. Okay, so it's 1st and 10, 28-14, and I really wish that Miami would run a concept similar to this, okay? I know we typically don't do stuff like this with Beck, but just hear me out. All right, so you see right before the snap, he's coming in motion, right? Rather, if this is us running this with Malachi, one of the backs, it doesn't matter. Doing this with having this potential option to swing this ball this way when you already have the 2 wide receivers right here. Look at what it does to the defense. He turns, puts it up, and now they're cooked because he's coming backside for the run. That's a designed quarterback run. And I hope we do something like that during the game because personally, I think that would catch them all the way off guard. And Beck is athletic enough to do it. Boom. Up here, you there. Look at, bro, freeze this. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is 9, 10, and 11 over here. Look at the space, bro. Look at the space. Boom. He already upfield. There's nothing there. The safety makes this play. The corner's down in the end zone. All right, so 28-14. Georgia Tech was down 28-0. It's 3rd and goal. And here we go. Whoop. 100-yard pick six. 100-yard pick six. And that's going to be all she wrote for Georgia Tech. They end up bringing it, making it a little tighter and stuff, but that's a 100-yard pick six. 1st and 10, 7 minutes left. You got Haynes King on this. Boom. He hits Kenyon right upfield. And once again, common theme, man. Peep the back of the end zone. Right there, step up in the pocket. Nice, easy touch throw. Back of the end zone again. It's 4 times. 4 times. I don't even know if we halfway through the film review. All right. It's 2nd and 5, 0-0. 1st quarter, Pitt versus Georgia Tech. And I highlighted this because this is the Turner run. I mean, he's really shifty. Great speed. He makes a lot of quick moves and stuff. So between him, Johnson, and Reed, Miami really has to make sure we bottle these guys up and tackle in space. Boom, 1 cut and hit to the outside. One cut and get outside real quick, man. Boom. Great block right there at the point of attack, and he's upfield that quick. The speed is there. The speed is there. And then boom, they jump off sides, step up, hit that throw downfield to Johnson, touchdown, man. That's easy money. That's a real easy work. They jump off sides, he climbed the pocket, delivered a strike. Look at this. Boom, it's there. He right here. He gonna slide, climb the pocket. Look, he looks the safety off. Boom. Boom. Right there. Touchdown. Looked him off and already knew where he wanted to go with it. That was easy work. All right. It's 1st and 15, 7-0. First quarter. Pitt is up. We gonna go ahead and run this. Boom. Easy work right here to the tight end. I mean, bro, there was 3 people open on that play. 2 of them were touchdowns. So you see the concept and how they all split off. But look at this. Boom. Look at the clean pocket. The tight end's going to go here. He could have threw that to the corner of the end zone if he wanted to. Honestly, that back corner was not covered. He could have threw it there. 3rd and 1. First quarter, Pitt up 14-0. And this is put it in his belly, strike to Johnson, down to the 1. They go ahead and run this in. But I thought that was a very key throw. Really nice throw. He can really spin it. He could spin the football with no question. Sometimes he just makes freshman mistakes, but make no mistake about it. That boy Heinkel can spin that ball. So 1st and 10, 21-0. Pitt is up, and I'm playing this because it's another Turner run. Hit that hole, boom, turn the corner. That guy has speed, great burst, and he can be a problem. Boom, send him in motion, easy work. Step up here in the pocket. He gonna hit span. Boom. And this one right here, get it. Get up out of there. Ugh. And this is tough. Smack. Oh my God. 23 was probably concussed after that play. I'm not going to lie. 23 was probably concussed. And then after doing all of that, fake the action there. Look, he walks in, bro. Turner been killing him the whole drive. He faked the action there and he walks in. That's easy work. All right, 1st and 10, 35-28, man. Pitt is on top, and it's going to seal the deal right here. Boy, Turner dangerous. Hand it off up the middle. That's all she wrote. Blouses. Bye-bye, Georgia Tech. It's 3rd and 7. First quarter, 0-0. Great hard count here. They end up jumping off sides. Boom. They see it. He throws it downfield. He hit it down to the 1-yard line. And then on 3rd and 13, man, this man loved going to Poppy Williams. Tell you that right now. Poppy Williams and Johnson is 2 favorite targets. And, you know, Hicks can do something too, especially he can help stretch the field, but love doing that. They love going to him, man. 3rd and 6, 14-7, second quarter. Step up. Boom. Johnson again. 3rd and 6, step up, hit Johnson. You're going to hear Johnson and Poppy Williams' name a lot, and then boom. Stuff like this is dangerous. You just hit it to read real quick, and then boom, look at what's going on. So easy. Easy work. Boom. Span in rhythm down the field. This right here was a laser. They tipped it and it made it there anyway. But when I tell you that man just threw a laser, oh my goodness. Watch him rip this ball. All right, so it's 4th and 2, second quarter, 24-21. Pitt is up, and this is a great throw. So if you see Johnson, he comes across right here. To me, I think he has that, but he don't throw that one. He throw it there, even on the turn up upfield. That ends up being open. I thought that was a good play. And then boom, here, Johnson in space. Boom, he breaks the tackle, goes, gets hit, but he ends up scoring. Touchdown. Great play, man. Great play right there. 1st and 10, 34-21. Third quarter, 10 minutes and 58 seconds left. And then boom, up top. Hicks. Bye. Real long one. They went crazy on them boys with that. Crazy. Step up, clean ball, deliver it. He's off to the races. Easy money. It's 1st and 10. First quarter, Pitt is up 10-0. We going to catch this swing pass to Hollywood Smothers. And we got to do stuff like this. Stretch him out, put him in space, and then boom. Smothers make one cut. He going upfield. That's easy work. So right here on this play in particular, man, it's going to be coverage bust. So you got 1st and 10. They driving downfield. And then boom. This right here is easy work. Touchdown. Nobody's even near him. Nobody is near him. All right. 1st and 10. Second quarter. 17-7. Pitt is up. And then boom. Here we go right here. Handoff. Smothers hit the hole. Go. Bye. 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 Big plays are to be had on this defense, bro. I don't care about what they were doing overall at the beginning of the year and in different spots. Once they got into ACC play, a lot of teams had big plays on these guys. All right, so in particular, this play right here, put it in here because this is perfect regarding some of the things that you know we're going to see. And I'm going to just let it unfold. Boom. Here, that's Malley. Upfield, easy touchdown. He pulled something on this play, man, but it was just seeing it, you know, how it all unfolded and everything, man. It was there to be had. And part of this is because of how aggressive Pitt wants to be. At times, they are extremely aggressive, and it's not hard to burn them over the top and catch them slipping. It's really not. All right, so it's 2nd and 1, Pitt versus FSU, first quarter, and you're going to notice Poppy Williams goes in motion, and then Heinzel with a great throw, man. He can sling this pill. Boom. Right there is open. Release. That's a dot. That is a dot to Poppy. This is his first game on the road, by the way. And then here you go, freshman stuff. Trying to run an option with a freshman on the next play, and then you see what happens. That's crazy. All right, so it's 1st and goal, 0-0, Pitt versus FSU. This play I wanted to highlight because this is what will happen if we don't bring this guy down to the ground. This is Turner in space. They look like they got him. Make a cut, boom. He gets up out of there, touchdown. We have to be on our P's and Q's with this. We have to be. Like, they had him, bro. Look at it. They had him, and look at the great blocking on this play. And this play is there for Earl Little to make, and he doesn't make the play. Missed tackle in open space, touchdown. Cut it up. That was easy money. Easy work. 3rd and 6, Pitt up 7-0, first quarter, and we're going to get a great run by Sawchuk right here. Boom. Hit the hole. Nice big run all the way down inside the 10-yard line. Boom. 3rd and goal. Touchdown. Ain't you about to throw another strike to Poppy Williams, bro? They got great chemistry. I'm not going to even lie. Great chemistry. Step up. Look at that. Little sidearm flick. It's there. It's there. And this is just a mismatch. If you put Reed on a linebacker, if you put Desmond Reed on a linebacker and you send him upfield, that's unfair. So I hope we don't do this with him and expect Torrey or somebody to be covering him or Popo downfield, bro. Don't put your guys in those type of predicaments, man. Don't put your guys in those type of predicaments. But it's 3rd and 6, and this is one of his best runs. He takes off here and picks up about 15 yards, big chunks on that play. Boom. That ain't even fair. Did y'all see what Reed just did to that boy? And this is what I mean. And I hope we don't do this, man. I'm being so serious. I hope we don't do this. I hope we don't put our players in bad position like this. So 41 has Reed, and watch how they do them. Him a little boom, boom, right there. He cooked. He's cooked. That's not fair, bro. We better not ask Torrey them to do that in space. They can't guard him. It's not going to work. I'm telling you right now, it is not going to work. But you roll back this way, and this is some of that stuff right here, man. Boom, okay. You pick up some solid yardage.